Alright, welcome back to 0 to 100k a month. I don't even want to call it that anymore. But welcome back. It's episode 38. I've got my notes here. It's been 11 days. I just want to start this off with saying it's my final time in this environment, as tonight's my last night in my apartment, the lovely 3-bed apartment that I've been so thankful to be in over the past 2 years. There's been moments where it's been a bit rocky and I wasn't too sure I was going to be able to afford it. Somehow we just have. But yeah, today's like the final night and I thought, you know what? I've been working over these past 11 days, man. But I thought I've certainly got to send this apartment off with a video. So here we are. Me back being honest and open and all the beautiful things that come with building these videos, right? So let's go. First things first, I've seen some support recently, so thank you for those who have been commenting, liking, and just reaching out to talk about my journey and stuff, man. I do appreciate it quite a bit. I do appreciate it, especially like the people that you really don't expect to be watching these. That's so surprising to me. But yeah, I'm around, man. I'm around. All right. So over the past week, I was in Portugal. I was, relaxing. Well, I'm lying. I wasn't relaxing. I was literally working. I've been working for the past 2 weeks. For some reason, I've just not felt like doing this. And it's not even that I don't like doing the recording. What I don't actually like is the way how my equipment works. So, for instance, I record into my laptop QuickTime. I record it off my iPhone. But sometimes, as some of you already know, these videos, ooh, they infuriate me. Like, for some reason, sometimes I can record a 30-minute video and it just goes, nah, I'm not going to save that. So I feel like there's been I can blame it on myself, to be fair, because I've not been more savvy around my problem solving. But yeah, it's been off-putting and I've been on edge about recording just because I don't want to feel like I'm pouring my soul out, I'm pouring my thoughts just for it to go, nah, we're not going to save. And then I've got to redo the video. Redoing videos takes so much energy. Like even right now, I'm just praying I don't have to redo this. But yeah, 4-hour updates on life. In terms of revenue so far this month, we've done about 4k. So yeah, it's not that much, but it's something. It is something. 4,000. Oh no, if we're doing dollars, it's about $5,000, $5,200 or so. But all that money, I couldn't tell you where it's gone, man. It's not like I live and buy my apartment and all this shit. Like I don't really spend that much money, and I don't really spend much money here. But yeah, that's what's happened. The business, man, the business. I've been working behind the scenes. As you already know, my Facebook situation just isn't rectified. I thought it was going to get rectified. I thought we were on to a winner. Now it's just like, shit. I've given up. I've given up on it. I think there's more important things that I can spend my time doing right now. And someone was right about some organic content. I'm just at a point where I've got to start building the organic content out. Just play the long game and see what I can do. Just because it's a nightmare right now. It's a nightmare. So yeah, I've been doing that. What else have we been doing? Some of you have seen my social media posts. I've now dropped work posts into Instagram. I just don't think I need to manage less platforms and prioritize where I focus my energy. So I've been focusing my energy on Twitter and I post on LinkedIn, but I don't really do too much over there just yet. But I'm going to get active over there at some point. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on it. The reason why I've worked on my personal brand and I'm getting more content out is I've mentioned it before. I need to be able to have distribution. If you're an entrepreneur, and you're trying to follow in similar footsteps to me or anybody else, you need distribution. And when we talk about distribution, we're talking about ability to get in front of people's faces. And organic is great if you can build an organic following or community. It's amazing because you can get in front of people's faces for free or very cheaply. But a lot of us or a lot of entrepreneurs have done paid distribution. So that's like getting in front of or paid media. So radio ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok, all of that. Ads are just paid media. You can pay for distribution, but if you have no budget or very little budget, you can't really do much. And I've got low budget again, so yeah, I've got to fix this and get out of the mud. So the project that I've actually been working on is a 2023 recap of Love Circular. I've been wanting to do this project. I wanted to do it last year, but for some reason I feel like the team and we just weren't able to prioritize at the right time and prioritize to the level that I wanted the project to be executed, and that's just it. But this year we get a chance. I know it's a month late. It's like January 30th right now, so it's a bit late. But hey, man, that's just that, innit? So yeah, I've been working on that. I've got some notes because I realized I have a lot of conversations with friends of mine, and some of these conversations themselves, they can be 6 minutes. Alright, cool. Some of these conversations themselves can be, I don't want to say philosophical, but they have philosophical elements to them, and I thought it would be great to even just talk to you about some of the thoughts that I have, and yeah, why not? So, the first comment I got is these are some of the conversations that I had with Isaac yesterday, in fact. He's another businessman, blah, blah, blah. So, the first thing that I've got is, nothing is profound beyond a certain point once you have competency. And what I mean by that is, I don't feel like... So, the story behind this is, I was in a conversation the other day about mentoring. And in that conversation about mentoring, I genuinely don't necessarily feel like I need a mentor. And I think after the conversation I had with my friend, one of the things that came up was he essentially said, yeah, when you want a mentor, it's because you have questions to ask and you don't have answers. And I'm a very curious and inquisitive person. Naturally, I ask a shit ton of questions. I've spent a load of years and just time asking questions to get to where I'm at now. So at this stage, I don't really my main problem is income and generating enough money to survive. My main problem is genuinely down to a few things, but they're in the circumstances themselves are things that I'm aware of. I know how to resolve those problems, and I'm very confident that I can resolve those problems. So getting a mentor isn't that useful to me. However, if I were to start again and I didn't have any experience or had little experience in terms of having possessing the knowledge the knowledge that I have now, yeah, you definitely want to get a mentor if you can. And that's simply because they can save you so much time and steer you in the right direction. But I need to get back to where I was and where I was heading before, or a similar direction financially. So for me, I don't necessarily need a mentor. I know what I need to do, and I need to apply myself. The reason why I say nothing you get taught is profound beyond a certain point in regards to this is because I have been very fortunate to know people who have, done billion-pound deals and, nine-figure deals like in the 100 to 500 million range when it comes to business and their businesses. I shit you not. A lot of people wonder what it's like to speak to people that are very wealthy, ultra wealthy. It's amazing, but they don't. I don't feel like a lot of the knowledge they can give you is even applicable to many of our situations when we're not making sums anywhere near the regions that they're making. So, when you ask them questions, depends on, if you ask them questions that can directly help your situation, they're not going to tell you anything profound. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I had from a very, very wealthy man, I'd say he's worth about 400 million, or his company's worth around 400 million. The point that he mentioned was, figure out how much it costs to get 10 leads. Do that. Figure out how much it costs to get 100 leads, and keep figuring out how to get 100 more and 100 more. You might hear that and you think, oh, yeah, that's kind of obvious. Why? Why? Because it really is. In the context of business, that's all your job is. Get leads, convert your leads. That's it. He's not telling you you've got to wake up at 6 a.m. He's not telling you you've got to do, 5 workouts a week, drink X amount of smoothies, be a vegan or whatever. It's not about that sort of stuff. That shit, it's just, I don't know, productivity porn, I'd say. It sounds good, it sounds great, but like at the end of the day, those fundamentals aren't going to be the things that move your business forward. Yes, you do want to be in good shape, and yes, you do want to eat well, but they're not necessarily. When your job is to get from 0 to say 100k, even 0 to 50k, your job's not to necessarily be worried about all that shit. You just need to be in good enough shape, and I'm not going to advocate eating shit or anything, but you need to be in a good enough position to be able to apply yourself over and over and over and over again. That's just your job. And when we talk about applying yourself over and over again, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the leads. That's your job. Just get more leads. Eventually, your job becomes give that role of getting the leads to somebody else that's more qualified and they're going to be better than you. That's your job. Once you get to that point, your new job is going to be management. Find great, it's going to be manage your staff. Then it's going to be find managers for your staff. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're finding managers for your managers. And if it just keeps going up, it's a tree. It's a tree that goes like that. So when you're having these conversations and you're aware of this sort of thing, or when you have a conversation with someone who's made that much money and that's what they tell you, the differences, it's kind of like a punch in the face. A mate of mine, he likened this same question, or like questioning someone who's made a lot of money, how you can do the same, to what it's like to ask someone who is very built, very hench, whatever you want to call it, in the gym. Whenever you go up to a person who's very well built in the gym, how can I get big like you? They're going to tell you the fundamentals. Just keep it simple. They're going to say, how much do you eat? Do you eat enough? Okay, you don't eat enough. Eat more. Work out. Do you need to work out every day? No. Work out enough. What's enough? You'll know. Some people work out every day. Some people work out twice a day. Some people work out 3 times a week. You'll figure it out. As long as you keep doing the fundamentals of anything, you'll figure it out. And this is why I don't feel like anything's profound. Simply because even in terms of the business, like the lead stuff that I said, that's just the fundamentals. Focus on making more money and you can fix the other problems along the way. Money will help you fix business problems. Business problems are usually money-related problems. And if they're not, they're people-related problems. And the people can't be solved by money per se, but you can afford you can afford great counseling, you can afford all the things that will help you make better decisions in terms of progressing. So yes, that is just the fundamentals of business. And whether you need mentoring past a certain point explained, you just don't. And that's why I say nothing you get taught past a certain point is profound anymore. It just is. And it makes sense. The further you go, the more simple you want to keep it, because that's just efficient. Alright, so that's point 1. You know what? I went into point 2. Keep doing shit that's simple. Protect yourself from yourself. If you're like me, where your mind wanders into random places and you've got a lot of ideas and sometimes you just overthink things. Like for instance, before I was even recording this video, I was really anxious, man. I was walking around my flat, really tense, like a few palpitations, just out of breath and shit, and just anxious. And I don't know what I was thinking about, but subconsciously I must have been thinking about something that kept getting me riled up. What did I do? I just slowed down, I sat down, I breathed, I played some relaxing music, cleared my head, chilled out, and now here I am, I'm recording this video. It's just how it works. Keep it simple. Protect yourself from yourself. If you've ever read Stephen Peters' Chimp Paradox, where he talks about the chimp in itself being like the erratic part of your brain that wants to be activated and wants to be very stimulated and center of attention. Right, when I say protect yourself, I'm talking about protecting yourself from your chimp more than anything. But yes, you should be protecting yourself from yourself where you can. And I see this very often in my day job with Love Circular. I coach people on how to get into design, as some of you know. The people that I coach, oftentimes, they're trying, when you pick up a new skill and you realize when you pick up a new skill or a new tool and you realize this tool is capable of so much more than your skill set currently possesses, you can find yourself in positions where you overcomplicate the simple things. You think you need to learn all the uses of that said tool, and you think you need to be able to, when you're on a job, you think sometimes you overuse that tool. And I see it with design quite a bit, in the sense of some people they might overcomplicate some of the fundamentals, and to overcompensate, they will overuse like drop shadows, shit like that. It's like, you don't really need that. The color palettes, the color choices, the alignment, the typography, the spacing, all of that, they overcomplicate it. It's like, keep it simple. I promise you, the interfaces that really do work at the end of the day usually are very simple in execution. Sometimes you can have it really be complex and stuff like that, but that's usually marketing. The actual experience of an everyday product is usually fairly simple and easy to use, very accessible. Why? Because it's what solves a problem in the shortest amount of time, and people leave satisfied. That's just how it works, and that's when I say keep it simple. I'm talking about doing shit like that, man. Keep everything painfully simple. When it comes to Love Circular, for instance, I don't care about much right now. All I care about is teaching, making great content for my students. I care about offloading any task that I don't want to do to anyone who's working with us. And then outside of that, it's just marketing. I speak to students, I give them feedback, I do marketing. That's it. There are other things that I could try and do to maintain the company, but at the same time, at the end of the day, like me focusing, say, for instance, operations isn't going to allow me to keep the company. We just need to focus on money, keeping it simple. There's only one thing I can worry about, and it's the things that keep the lights on, of course, and allows me to speak to you guys. So I'm keeping it simple. This is how I live life, and this is what's allowed me to go from being in a council house to the 17th floor apartment in the city centre. Like, this is the sort of shit that I've been able to do for myself, and I promise you it's possible. You just need to focus on the shit that actually makes moves for your industry or what you're doing. Leverage is everything, and leverage the simple shit. I promise you 80% of your results will come from just doing the simplest thing possible every single time. So yeah, keep it simple. Protect yourself from your chimp or yourself. That's that point. Alright, being indifferent. I say being indifferent versus overthinking is just way better every scenario. Maybe it's a little stoic of me, but I genuinely believe practicing a way to become indifferent is the way to I think just be more present and enjoy things in life. I'm not saying being indifferent to the point where you're a bit of a dud in terms of personality or anything like that, but I think you should be indifferent to many things that are around you, right? So for instance, I get asked questions about New York and like whether I'm nervous and stuff like that, whether I'm excited. I've told you in the past, I try not to let my emotions go too high or too low, but that's possibly because my brain's a bit like a Ferrari and it's autistic, so maybe I can't regulate those as maybe I don't have as high peaks or high low lows. But in terms of how I deal with that, it's like I'm not that excited, if I'm completely honest with you, and I'm not that I'm not anything. I'm just fairly neutral in terms of how I feel about it, and I'm happy that I'm in that place, if anything, because it to me it's where I feel like I operate the best, and it's where I feel like I control myself very well. If I say I'm super excited, it's like, yeah, that's gonna wear off the moment I start packing and doing all that other shit. Or if I say I'm like really scared or whatever, like it's not gonna help me in any shape or form. Fear is not gonna improve my ability to perform. I need to try and be as clear as possible, and being indifferent is just so helpful. I am present. It's not to say I'm not present, because I know what I'm doing, and there is joy to it, but it's like I'm not trying to go too far. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going. I'm moving. That's what it is. I'm moving, and there's a lot of hope, and I believe that I can meet great people in a place like that, and I can achieve amazing things. That's it. Until it's in front of me, I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself, and I'm not trying to wind myself up with fear of like, are you going to be able to afford it? What's gonna happen? Are you gonna meet people and they're gonna be shit? Are you gonna feel homesick? I'm not letting those thoughts get to me because they're not gonna serve me in any way, shape, or form when it comes to being excellent and being brilliant. I know if you haven't seen my video on brilliance, it's worthwhile, I think. So yeah, be indifferent. Don't overthink, man. Overthinking is it's easy to say don't overthink because 20 minutes ago I was overthinking in some way, shape, or form. That's worded that way. But I was overthinking, and that's why I felt anxious. But at the same time, I controlled myself. I composed myself, and I realized what was happening. And when I did, I worked through it. I worked with it and through it, and here I am, calm as a fucking ice cube, or cool as a cucumber, cool as an ice cube. All right. On indifference, I also think my points all link in. To be fair, with indifference, I think oh my god, I'm throat's parched, man. That was the corniest cough ever. Alright, cool. My last point with indifference is the further you're able to look beyond your current circumstance or beyond where you are, the easier it is to be indifferent. So the reason why I'm afforded the luxury of being indifferent is because I've been challenging myself for like 9 years, pushing myself for like 9 years since I was about 18. It's going to be 10 years at the end of this year because I set up my first company when I was 19, first proper company. So I've been doing this for a while, and I'm 28, so that's already a third of my life pretty much spent just being in chaos and being in uncomfortable situations. But I'm looking so far ahead now. Like I'm looking at the next 10 years, and the next 10 years, I'd love to. You've seen the penthouse minimum. You've seen some of the things that I'm intrigued by and impressed by, and what I would like to achieve and possess myself. When you're looking that far ahead, the things that currently happen in a road bump, they're just small road bumps. It flattens out so much. For instance, I have very, very shitty days. Like recently, there's an instructor who's supposed to be my friend. He's fucked us over, and I've got a refund, potentially a few £1,000s worth of money to people. Like that's not great in any way, but I could sit here and get so riled up. I can get so upset. I could scream. I could shout at him. I could be upset at myself. I can be very annoyed. But at the same time, what's that gonna do? Like in the grand scheme of things, those however much I had to refund and I have to refund, that's just a learning curve. That's some data that I've logged and I can move forward with it. That's just it. I'm not even upset with him. I'm disappointed with him, absolutely, but I'm not going to say I'm frustrated and I'm going to take it out of him. That's just it. I've learned something. I've learned what I can expect from someone, or what I might be able to expect from someone, and I've just been given data and I'm moving forward with it. So yeah, it's a small price to pay, but what's in the grand scheme of it, like what's 3-4K, however much it's going to be when you are pulling in 10 to 20 million a month in 10 years, let's say. The 3K is insignificant. To get to that point, you have to go through moments like this. There's no way you can't go through this. And that's what I mean about having a long-term outlook. The further you look beyond your current situation, it's easier to just roll with the punches. I know that this is going to happen. I know that I'm going to experience some other losses in some scenarios, and that's just a part of life. This is the journey that I feel like you want to enjoy. When they say you got to enjoy the journey, in the past I'd be frustrated and I'd be angry and I'd be just so upset and I'd let it get to me. But I can't enjoy the journey if I'm using all my energy on negativity. My journey is one that I can at least envisage for the next 10 to 20 years, I'd like to believe. And if I'm doing so with my life, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Let's focus on the things that actually matter, the things that are going to get me closer to the area and the position I'd like to be in. And I think if you're a person who fucks with my content, I think that's something that you could apply to yourself, apply to what you're working on, and keep it moving. At the end of the day, there's only so much life we get, and what's the point of spending it upset? What's the point of spending it just focused on stupid shit? That's it. So yeah, I think it's episode 38. My hand's just gone so numb. I've not, well, yeah, stiff. But yeah, I think it's episode 38. I've been so thankful and fortunate to be in the position I've been in. Yes, I've had very upsetting times, but at the same time, again, I'm super duper 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 happy with the fact that I've been able to live in this beautiful apartment. Behind me, you can see, yeah, shit that I've never ever dreamt. Like, I could only dream of this when I was younger. Like, this is what I get to wake up to. I've been able to wake up to it for like past 2 years. So I'm so happy, and I'm just in a position now where I'm ready for improving myself and getting to the next stage, yeah? So that's what we're doing. I love you lot, and I hope you are enjoying. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing a few things, so I might not be able to get daily videos done as I have done in the past, but I can certainly do my best to try and at least make a little 3 videos a week for you, because I'm working every day, so I should be able to do that. And when I'm back, I'm moving to the States in a few weeks. Once I move to the States, we should be able to get some of this stuff rolling. And yeah, let's get on with it, man. I hope you're great. Let's keep fighting mediocrity and being better for tomorrow, man. Have a good one. Peace. No! This is the shit that really gets to me, man. I recorded maybe a 30-40 minute video